was nauseating.
Agreed. But you can make this kind of video with anything you can create in Midjourney, and Larry and I are going to show you how to do it. So obviously your video does not have to have teddy bears in it.
Vomit.
You can use whatever you want, like I said. Larry, what are some other ideas that might be appropriate? Let's say if you're making a birthday greeting for a child.
Princess parties. Superheroes. Insane clown pop.
Okay, great list. Shout out to all the little juggalos out there. We're going to make a Zoom video and add a custom greeting to the end. We'll do this by using Midjourney to create our Zoom images, then we'll see what's possible in the free version of Canva, and then we'll use a free video editor called DaVinci Resolve to make a full Zoom movie from start to finish. Larry, who should we say happy birthday to in our example?
Since you have no friends, how about you?
Thanks. I guess.
May I suggest a theme?
Okay, yeah, great idea. Let's customize it to the birthday boy's interests.
You have a thing for pretty robot ladies.
For the last time, I do not have a thing for pretty robot ladies.
Bald-faced lie. This is your Midjourney feed. All you think about is robot ladies. It is extremely weird. Freak.
Okay, that wasn't embarrassing. First, we're going to look at the prompt that we used for this Zoom video demo. Then we'll go over to Canva and we'll make a greeting title and a rough cut, which by the way is very optional. We don't even need Canva for this. But after that, we'll get a quick lesson on keyframing from Larry, and then we will build a complete Zoom movie in DaVinci Resolve. All right, here's our prompt that I wrote based on Larry's suggestion of pretty robot ladies, which I am definitely not obsessed with. And here is the result. We have
Helmet lady.
four
Helmet
very
lady.
nice robot
Helmet
ladies.
lady.
It sounds
Helmet
like
lady.
Larry is in favor of number 3. Helmet lady it is.
Hot girls wear
And
helmets.
so we just upscale this and we start hitting that zoom out button. We're zooming out 2 times, the 2x zoom. And we're going to keep on zooming out, let the scene develop. And this is a point where Larry suggested adding Terminators. She has a secret crush on them.
Liar.
But it didn't really work out. Anyway, I added this spaceship window because the party scene was getting really dark. And Midjourney has a habit of darkening things as you zoom out farther. So the spaceship window was supposed to be a transition into something else. It kind of worked. Anyway. All right, let's head over to Canva. We'll click on Design Spotlight at the top, and then Photo Editor. And let's click that. Okay, and then we can drag an image into this window, so we'll just do that. Real simple. And so we want to find the kind of greeting, or the kind of text that we want to put on this. So let's just search for that. In this case, we're going to do Happy Birthday. And there's a link here for getting a look at more birthday stickers. So let's click that. And then there's See All next to graphics right up there. So let's click that too. So, all right, some of these are for pro users only, but we are using the free version. Hey, this one works. That looks good. And we can do titles in DaVinci Resolve, certainly. I'm just showing you this because it's a simpler way of doing this. Sometimes titles can be a little hard to work with if you're a new user. And I'm also showing you here that, this doesn't have to be birthday. This can be for anniversary or, graduation, whatever. So just choose whatever's appropriate, whatever you feel like using. And then we will head over to this text thing on the left. So you can just type in your own stuff if you want. And you can add a heading. Down below there are some pretty cool text styles that you can edit as well. So if the stickers aren't doing it for you, just grab one of these, and I'm going to delete that. Now let's grab one of these text styles and you can type happy birthday or whatever it is that you want to type. So top right, there's a download button. Just click that and you're on your way. So now we're going to look at the movie editor, the video editor, sorry. So let's click on that, and then we're going to bring in our, we're going to click on edit a video. We're going to bring in our, all of our upscaled images, which will go in this red box area where I already have a bunch of weird stuff. But we're just going to drag in one image right now because I want to show you how to add these to the timeline. Your timeline is at the bottom. This is video, so you're going to have frames. And what you want to do is just drag it down right onto that frame. It'll resize it for you automatically. That's the fastest way to do this. You can resize it yourself if you want to, but just drag it down into that window. And now I'm highlighting this space here to the left of our first frame. And the reason I'm doing that is because we're going to build this timeline backward. The happy birthday image is the end of our video here. So we want to build backward toward the beginning of it, where we're totally zoomed out. And then once we play, we're going to zoom in and end with the happy birthday robot lady. So if you just hold your image over that space, you'll get a vertical line that pops up that tells you that you're adding an image into this space here. And you can do this, by the way, between other frames as well, but we're just doing this at the beginning of the frame, and we're adding all of our images, building it backwards so that we go to our most zoomed out image, which is right there. And now we're going to adjust the timing of these frames because they default to 5 seconds. You can see a little 5.0 on every image. Click on that stopwatch icon at the top. We can change this. Let's go with half a second. Toggle the switch on to apply that to all of your pages, all of your images. And now everything is half a second long. You can hit the play button to do a little preview, and it looks pretty good. So actually, I did make a couple of mistakes, and I think, if you make mistakes, just drag your images to wherever you need them to be, whatever the correct order is. And you can just do a little playthrough. And now we'll add some transitions. So if you hold your mouse in between any two images, you're going to get two buttons. The top one is for adding a page, which is adding an image here. Below that is Add Transition. So just click that. On the left side, you get some transitions to choose from. We're going to use Dissolve. And that's pretty much all you have to do to add transitions in between your images. Click on the Add Transition button, click Dissolve, repeat, and go through your whole timeline. And it'll make it play a little smoother. This whole thing is honestly pretty rough. We're using Canva. It's not really designed to be a full-featured video editor like DaVinci Resolve is. But if you just want to do something quick and not invest a lot of time into this, then this is one way of doing it. So let's hit the share button when we're done at the top and go down to download, and you will be able to download your video, share it with whoever you want. And so I confess that I forgot to record the playthrough, the finished video with the transitions. Sorry. Larry, what do you think?
What a great way to show how little you care.
Delightful. Okay, well, we're going to use DaVinci Resolve to make a much, much smoother and much more watchable version of this Zoom movie. And Larry is going to give us a quick lesson on keyframing, which is how we make this look nice and smooth. Take it away, Larry.
A keyframe is how you give animation instructions to a video editing program. For this example, we will use a video clip of a lonely, creepy man and his girlfriend. LOL, LOL, I am crying.
Okay,
LOL.
you're hilarious,
ha,
Larry.
Ha, ha.
Can you please
LOL.
get on with it?
That was a sick burn. At the bottom of the screen, there are several different pages that you can switch between in order to perform different functions in DaVinci Resolve. Right now, we are on the Edit page. In order to add keyframes, we must switch to the Cut page. We will switch to the Cut page now. Click on the video clip in the small timeline as shown. This will open a settings panel on the right side of the screen. This is where you will set your keyframes. The default zoom level is 1. When you want to set a keyframe, you will click on the diamond on the right. Now let's go back to our video clip and move the playhead to the first frame. This marker tells you that you are on the first frame of the clip. Go to the settings panel on the right and click on the diamond to set a keyframe for the zoom level. Now we will go back to the video clip and move the playhead to the last frame. When the playhead reaches the end of the clip, press the left arrow key on your keyboard one time. This marker on the right side of the view screen tells you that you are on the last frame of the clip. Now go to the panel on the right, click the keyframe diamond for zoom, and set the new zoom level. For this example, we will set a zoom level of 10 to emphasize how creepy this man is. When we play the video clip back, we can see it zooming from zoom level 1 on the first frame to zoom level 10 on the last frame.
Wow, Larry, that was a really informative, albeit insulting, demonstration. But as long as we're on this screen, and as annoying as it is to keep on zooming in on my nose, take a look at the top right. You can see the zoom rather, in action. It's counting from 1 up to 10 where that second keyframe was set. And so that's what we're going to be using to make our zoom movie. Larry and I have exited the screen for this part of the video, but we'll be back later on toward the end. First thing I want to show you is something that's pretty boring, but I think it'll help you get started a lot faster, which is naming your files. And these are the images that I downloaded from Midjourney. As you can see, I've numbered them all in order, 1 to 13. You probably won't have this many for your movie, but anyway, number 1 is the most zoomed out. Number 13 is the most zoomed in with the helmet lady where it says happy birthday. And right now we're going to go to new project. We're going to name our project happy birthday. And where it says no clips in media pool on the top left, we're going to drag our images in, just drag them in from the folder. And even though we numbered them, we put them in order from most zoomed out to most zoomed in. They're not in order here. 4, 6, 5, 7. You look across the top and you can see that they're not in order. So in order to look at these in order, we're going to leave the cut page where we are currently, and we're going to go to the edit page. So let's click on that down at the bottom. And now in this view, we can see that our images are indeed in the order that we numbered them. So what we're going to do is we are going to select all of these images and drag them onto the timeline. And the way we can do that is by either do a click and drag, or we can use keyboard shortcuts, Command A or Control A, and just drag all these guys onto the timeline, just like that. And if we take a little zoom in, we can see that they're still in order. And this is why we numbered them, just to make this step that much easier. And so now we've got everything where we want it, sort of. Right now, let's just take a quick look at this slider. This is how we change the view. We can zoom in or zoom out, and depending on where we are, we can see all of our images or just part of the timeline. So we're zoomed out enough to see everything. Images from 1 to 13. And we're going to do a Control or Command A and right click on one of these images in the timeline. We're going to get this menu, then we'll go up to change clip duration. The keyboard shortcut is Command D or Control D. So these images default to 5 seconds. We're going to change it to 2. And when we do that, we get these gaps in between all the images. We need to fix that. So let's just drag and pull them over. But I'm making a mistake here. You see what the cursor looks like, and you see that green bar. That means that you're changing the length of the clip, which you don't want to do right now. So just make sure that when you click, you're getting the red border. That means you're going to pull the whole thing over. And we're going to put all of these images right up next to each other so that there are no gaps. And once we've done that, we can do a little playthrough, and we can see that everything is just the way we want it. All right, so let's go to the cut page. Let's go back to the cut page where we were earlier. And we are going to select our very first first image rather, right there where the circle is. We're going to go to the first frame, and we see our first frame marker. Now over on the right, we see the diamond where we can set our first keyframe. So we click that diamond, just like Larry showed us, and now we are going to go to the end of the first clip. And so let's head over to the end of the first clip, just kind of drag your playhead over to the right, go all the way to the end. It'll snap to the end of the clip, but remember, we have to go one frame to the left. So we don't want this first frame marker when we're at the end of the clip. That will screw us up big time, and it'll cause you to redo everything and you'll be very frustrated. So just hit that left arrow key, and then you will truly be on the last frame of the first image. And that's the marker you want on the right side of the view screen. So now that we have that, we can go over to the settings on the right, and we can click on the keyframe button, the little diamond. And so once we hit the keyframe button, we want to change the zoom level. We want to change that not to 10 like Larry did just to humiliate me, but we want to go to zoom 2 because we did the 2x zoom out. So we're going to zoom in 2x, or twice rather. So, all right, so now we have successfully set our keyframes for the first image. And we need to repeat this process for all of the other images. And one thing you want to be careful of is you have to click. You cannot arrow forward. You have to click on the next image. Make sure you're on the first frame. Click your keyboard, or sorry, your keyframe button. Go to the last frame, left arrow once, click your keyframe. Looks like I forgot to set the zoom level for that second image. I'll fix that later. But just go through and set your ending keyframes to zoom level 2. And the first frame of each one, you can just hit the keyframe button because it already defaults to zoom 1. So I'm speeding up the video here so that we don't grow old watching this movie come together. And yeah, so this will take a little bit of time, but again, I have 13 frames. You probably won't have that many. And if you only have 3, 4, 5 frames, it's not all that difficult and not all that time consuming even to do. So yeah, we do a little playthrough, and it looks like I'm doing some fixes here. And so let's go to transitions. I just want to be fancy here because I don't like the way this happy birthday just kind of pops up out of nowhere. This is the Canva image that we made, and that's a static image. So I'm just going to drag a cross dissolve from the transitions menu down onto the point where that last image meets the one before it. And since Larry can't go more than 5 minutes without making fun of me, here she is to talk about music briefly.
We will add music to this bizarre birthday video that we are making. Go to a website where you can download free music and search for the music you want. Here, we are using Pixabay. Pixabay has many different birthday music options. If you are making a birthday video for Michael, the song you should use is Loser by Beck. If this birthday video is for a child, choose any song. Who cares? Now, just click the download link.
I feel like I should be offended by that, but honestly, I love that song. So, all right, whatever. Let's drag your music into the timeline, just like that, right out of the folder into the timeline, and we're going to adjust the slider so that we can see the end of the music clip. And let's zoom in and take a look at how the mouse looks, and that's what you want to see when you're going to drag the music to shorten it and drag it down to where your last image ends. So that's all well and good. Now we want to adjust the volume. Maybe it's a little too loud. And here we are going to hold the mouse over that line and it turns into up and down arrows. Just click and drag to adjust. Click and drag up and down, that is. And so just do that until your music is the level that you want it. And we're in business. However, at the very end, because we shortened this clip and it doesn't end, in a very smooth way like that, we want to kind of soften that, and we want it to fade out. And the way to do that is actually very easy. Just go up to your Effects panel, go to the top, click on Effects, come down here to Audio Transitions. We're going to grab a crossfade. Just grab that crossfade and drag it onto the end of the audio clip. Yeah, right there. There you go. So let's drag it onto the audio clip, and you can also adjust the length of the fade just by doing that, just by dragging it. And when we play it back, that sounds a lot nicer. So when the video ends, it doesn't just abruptly cut off. It actually sounds pretty good. So now let's add titles, because we did our titles, we did a title in Canva, and it's pretty rough, but if you are motivated and want to add some better titles, DaVinci Resolve has lots of options. So as you can see up here on the left side of the screen, we have lots of options for titles. If you just drag your mouse left and right over any title, you can see how it animates. And so we are going to choose a title. I don't think I like that one. This one looks pretty good. This is called Jitter Lower Third. And the text will kind of shimmer and shake. Oh, but we don't want to drag it into the window like I just tried to. That's a mistake. Let's drag that onto the timeline. Okay, just like that. So drag it onto the timeline, and now you have settings over here where it says sample. You can change that to happy birthday, happy anniversary, etc., etc. Just make that say whatever you want. And there are lots of different settings that you can play with. You can change the size, you can change it to whatever font you have installed on your computer. And you'll also notice that there are keyframes on the right side there. You see those diamonds? So even though this title is animated just on its own, you can add your own keyframes if you want to get fancy and maybe have the text zoom in or have the line spacing change. So you can do all kinds of things, and just about everything. I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of things in DaVinci Resolve, and most video editors like it. A lot of different elements are keyframeable. In other words, you can animate them. So something to keep in mind when you are feeling fancy. And also, different titles have their own settings. So you can set jitter speed and the color of the jitter. So, all right, so that actually looks pretty good. This is looking like a real birthday video ending. So let's go and watch the whole thing. But actually, hold on. First, we have to export. Let's hit the quick export button. We're just going to choose YouTube. We're going to export to our folder and name it whatever you want. So for our purposes, we'll just call it HBD. And now we are ready to watch the finished product.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Wow, Larry, I'm honestly shocked that you didn't use that last opportunity to call me a loser yet again. Classy. Okay, so we made a quick and dirty video in Canva.
It sucked.
It kind of did. But we also made a really great video with DaVinci Resolve. It was really smooth, and there were some hiccups in between each frame because of the zoom level constantly, going up to 2 and going back to 1 for every frame. But I'm not even sure that matters. It was noticeable to me because, I'm the one who, did all the keyframing and made the video, but I'm not sure that the customer will care. If the recipient, if the kid or whoever likes the video, then the customer is going to be happy, and that's really all that matters.
Okay, dork.
I think if this were an Etsy digital product, it would probably have no more than 3 to 5 frames. And so the next logical question is there a market for this? And we looked at a bunch of...
Here are some Etsy stores that
Okay.
sell video greetings.
Okay, thank you, Larry. I went through dozens of pages, and they all look the same. They seem to be using stock footage. Some use trademarked characters, and who knows whether they have permission to use Sonic the Hedgehog. But I didn't see a single Zoom video greeting. And some of the more customizable greetings sell for about $15 or so. And based on this, I think your Zoom video would be worth at least that much if you're adding a name and a custom message and offer whatever else is appropriate for the product that you're selling. So you can do party invitations, birth announcements, engagement announcements. Just be creative and think up new types of Zoom videos that you can sell. If I tell you that you can make $10,000 a month with these Zoom videos, Larry will immediately call me a liar.
You lie constantly.
But I do believe you'll get sales. Midjourney's Zoom function is still really new. And who knows, Zoom videos just might be the next big thing on Etsy. Please let me know what you think of this idea in the comments. And if you got value from this video, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. It would help my channel quite a bit, and it'll tell me whether I should make more content like this. Larry, is there anything you'd like to add?
What's the deal with your eye?
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.